G'day from beautiful Sydney, Australia, and welcome to another episode of Stumpy's Cards. Now, as you can see here, I have two large parcels that have just arrived, and these have just arrived from Ship My Cards in the USA, so I thought it was a good time to do a quick review on the Ship My Cards service. So you might ask yourself, what is Ship My Cards? Well, basically, it is a mail-in consolidation service in the USA. They have warehouses in Arizona and Oregon. And what it basically does, I don't know if you've ever tried to buy cards from eBay in the USA from overseas, but from Australia, we basically get charged $30 to ship one single card to Australia through eBay, plus taxes as well, which is crazy, right? I remember back when I used to collect, maybe 15 years ago, it used to be, used to be able to ship for $4 or $5. So it's just not feasible to buy on eBay in the USA unless you use a consolidation service. So basically how Ship My Cards works is you set up an account through them and you buy a card on eBay and you arrange for the card to be shipped to the Ship My Cards address in Arizona and Oregon. So what you can basically do is maybe buy 20, 30 cards over a period of, say, 3 or 4 months, send them to Ship My Cards, and instead of paying $30 per card to send to Australia, you can do one bulk shipment back to Australia to save on postage costs. So it's pretty cool in that essence. So they have two services in Ship My Cards. One is the Arizona address, which they charge you $3 per card. And basically what happens is you ship to them, they unpack the cards, take a photo of the cards, and upload it on the website, and they charge you $3 per card. So, it sounds cheap, but it's probably not feasible if you're someone who's buying $1, $2, $3, $4 cards, because, you're going to be paying more in postage and handling fees of Ship My Cards. The price is going to go up and up. I'd say it's more suitable for someone who's spending, buying cards $20, $30 or more, and then you're gonna get rewarded for, well, not rewarded, but you're going to feel the benefits of the service in that sense. If you're buying low value cards, you're going to have a lot of costs associated with it. And then they also have a second address in Oregon, which is the tax-free address. So what they do is they charge $7 per card to ship to Oregon, which then gets shipped there for the tax-free benefits, and then they move it to Arizona for you. So it's a double shipment, takes a little longer, but the benefit of that is you're not going to get charged tax on any of your purchases on eBay. And, for instance, you buy a $100 card, $150 card, you're going to be paying a bit of tax if you send it to the Arizona address. But for, $4 extra, you're not going to pay any tax to send it to Oregon. So that's pretty awesome. You only feel benefits on savings on that, I think, when it's about $50 or more. But it's a really, really cool service, especially for someone if you're buying a lot of high-end cards. $50 or more, $100, $200, you're going to be saving a lot, not just on your freight, but also on taxes there. So yeah, I think it's a really good service. These will be, I think, my 10th shipments back to Australia through using the Ship My Cards. This smaller box here, that was sent through FedEx. That cost me $40 to come over. And both shipments took a week to prepare through Ship My Cards. You go into a queue and you have to wait your turn and they box it for you. So the waiting time was around a week. But for this FedEx to arrive was less than, I think it was like 5 or 6 days. Sometimes I've had them in 3 or 4 days. So FedEx is, really good if you want to get the cards quickly. Now, the second one here, this was sent via USPS, the e-packet service, which you can only send shipments to the value of customs declaration of 400 US dollars, and that cost $50. But this one actually took 2 weeks versus the 1 week on the FedEx. So it depends. It can be cheaper, maybe to send bulk via USPS, but it's gonna maybe take you a week longer. They have another service, but with the e-packet, you're meant to only send around 400 US dollars in custom value. Where, with FedEx, you can send as much as you want. Now, a word of warning, especially for Australian Ship My Cards users, and especially with FedEx. So what's been happening is a lot of sellers have been buying, bulk cards to a high value. In Australia, you don't pay tax on imports under 1,000 Australian dollars, which is around 600 US dollars, a little bit more. But what some people have been doing is they've been buying, $4,000 or $5,000 worth of cards, declaring them as less than $1,000. And it'd be like a big giant box that maybe weighs 6, 7, 8 kgs, and declaring it low value, and that triggers customs because they're like, well, this is a relatively low value box declared as sports cards, and it's a very big heavy box. So what will happen is they'll come back to you and they'll go, right, provide proof of your purchases. So you have to send evidence of your eBay purchases and maybe bank account statements showing those purchases. So if you're declaring and sending big parcels, you can get caught out and pay heavy duty fees, plus someone to process the import and everything like that for agents, so it can add up. What I basically do is I send back in smaller shipments. I declare as what I paid for them and I keep records of all of my purchases, of each eBay purchase, and I take a screenshot of not only what I paid in US dollars for the card, but also what I paid for the shipment. And you can see what it was charged in Australian dollars through eBay as well. So I keep proof of everything, so I don't panic, and so I don't get caught out. And I keep it around 900 Australian dollars to allow for the shipment cost as well from FedEx, to make sure everything is less than 1,000 Australian dollars. And there's people, they might even declare correctly, but as soon as you go over that $1,000 mark, I'm talking from Australia only, I don't know, for people in Europe and around the world, you have to look into what your regulations are for your own countries and what the limits are. But in Australia, as soon as you go over that $1,000 and you declare, you have to pay duties. And quite often you have to get an agent to, process your import, which, can cost you maybe $300-$400. Then if you've under declared, you're going to have to pay duties on what the actual real value is on those cards. I wouldn't recommend it. Some people run the gauntlet and do it. But I try and do, small shipments, keep it under $1,000 and keep proof of all my purchases. So if I do get pulled up by customs, I can prove to them what I really purchased it for and what those values are. So that's a little bit of a lowdown on Ship My Cards. Overall, I've been pretty happy with the service. I know there has been a little bit negative feedback from Australia when the people were getting caught out by customs, but that was more on the shipper. I mean, on the person who imported the cards than Ship My Cards themselves. So Ship My Cards just following your directions. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the service. It's a cool little family-owned business by Brian Wells, and he's been able to employ a lot of family and friends. He's a card collector as well, so he's currently living the dream, which I think is pretty awesome. I think overall it's pretty good. They also can ship your cards to PSA and BGS. They also offer a service of putting a tracking chip inside your package in case it gets lost. Another thing I do as well, especially with rare cards that would be hard to replace, I do insure the shipment as well, just for extra peace of mind, even if it costs a little bit more That way, you know, you've got all your bases covered. Now, the one little whinge I do have about this service is for the first 180 days, you get free storage of your products. But then for any additional 90 days, you get charged 10% of the service fee. So, for instance, you had a card, you got charged $3 to bring it into the Ship My Cards service. If you keep it for past the 180 days, you will get charged 30 cents. You know, it might not sound a lot, but say if you keep 200 cards for 6 months, past those dates, it's going to really, really add up. Obviously, they do this to stop people leaving their stock there for 4 or 5 years or whatever and getting the warehouses clogged up. My only gripe is, you know, I do spend a relatively decent amount of money with Ship My Cards, and I'd like to see those fees reduced or eliminated once you hit a certain threshold of spending, or, you know, like some sort of kickback in that sense, you know, as a thank you for your service, but also, you know, just a little bit of a kickback for your loyalty and everything like that. So, yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with Ship My Cards. But if you are using them, make sure it works for you. If you're doing a lot of low-end stuff, it might not be the right thing. But what I do like is it gives you access to eBay in the USA. Coming from Australia, I can get a lot more cards there that I can't find in Australia, and quite often at a lot better prices than in Australia. So, you know, you can save a lot of money in that. You can get cards that you've been chasing for a long time and you can't find in your home country. So, you know, there's a bigger market to choose from. So I think that's really awesome. But yeah, you have to work out whether it's going to work for you, and also make sure you're aware of all the import regulations for your home country. You know, that you're keeping within those. If you're not, you know, you run a risk of being caught out and hit with a lot of fees. So yeah, you know, be responsible for, you know, your own shipments and everything like that. But I think overall, pretty good service. I'm happy with the guys. So yeah, I'll quickly open these up and see what we've got in here. So we'll do this little box first. Let's try not to damage it. They normally pack pretty well, and what I often do as well with card shipments is I ask them to pack them as small as possible, just so, you know, not to draw too much attention from customs. So let's see what we got here. I've been looking forward to getting these for a while. So you can see it's really nicely packaged. I might just move that bigger box out of the way. So yeah, the packaging there is really good. I always send invoice with goods as well, just in case customers needs to check that out. And yeah, you can see they take photos of the product and you put your description. So I put the description as is. You know, as I purchased it on eBay, so that if I ever have to prove that I purchased it from eBay and what the prices are, they can match it all up pretty easily with the photos and the description. Just a little Ship My Cards card, and you might be able to see what these are. But been looking forward to getting these for a long time. There we go. You might have seen these doing the rounds on YouTube. And these are the new totally certified premium boxes. Now, you might have seen the premium boxes that came out last year. They were absolutely loaded. These are pretty much up there as well. They come with like between 8 to 10 numbered cards per box. 1 autograph, 2 memorabilia cards, and those are all numbered. And they have a really good auto checklist. They have Steph Curry, Joker, I think Luca might be in there. I think Luca's in there as well. SGA, Ant-Man might be in there. I think Larry Johnson, Magic Johnson, plus the majority of the rookies that are signing. So when these came out, I got these through Target. So this is an example where Ship My Cards is really good. I brought these through Target in the USA for $150. Now, Target in the USA won't send to Australia. So I send it to Ship My Cards, and I think they charge like $12 through the origin address to process them. And that way I saved on tax, and then I can bundle them and send them back. And I think like 3 boxes is like $20. So I got 3 boxes there. And these are the FedEx ones. I rushed them back because I'm going to be in a Card Collectors Cup box battle. And hopefully these will be in my round 2 entry if I make it into the next round. So yeah, these are really, really awesome. Keep an eye out on the channel for an opening of these. And then onto the next box. So I chose USPS for this particular one because it was a little bit bulkier. So this one was $50 and it was $40 to send the FedEx one. That's excluding, I got additional insurance as well. So I chose UPS because it's a little bit cheaper to send bulk. And as you can see, it's well packaged again, lots of bubble wrap. And there is the list of what's in here. I asked for invoice with goods for customs purposes. So let's open it up and check out what's in there. So yeah, great packaging. Oh, wait, you might be able to see what's on the top there. Another box of Totally Certified. Yeah, I got 4 boxes of these. Now the limit, I think on the website was 6 boxes, but I had an issue with payments processing on my last 2 boxes, so I only got 4. But yeah, there's 1 box there. So yeah, like I mentioned before, this I sent this for UPS because it is, excuse me, it is one of the bulkier shipments. So very good packaging. And then there's 2 boxes of the premium stock mega boxes. And these are the 60 cards. I'm not sure if it's the Kmart or the Target version. I've opened the 50 card box, which is pretty good. The 60 card is harder to get. But yeah, we've shipped my cards. Like these, I haven't seen these come up, the 60 card boxes in Australia, but I was able to get them with the help of Ship My Cards. So 2 boxes there. Now, there we go. And then I think that might be the last box here. I'll just double check. So what I did is I sent my heavier cards in this shipment. Because it was going to be a bigger shipment. And then plan to send the top loaded cards and probably a FedEx shipment at a later date. So yeah, I've still got 2 or 3 shipments I need to bring back from Ship My Cards. Sorry about this, it's a little, there we go. But you can see the care they take in the packaging. There we go, almost there. So yeah, what I did is I brought back most of my graded cards because if I sent them with my top loaded cards, I wouldn't be able to fit as much as in the shipment. So first up, get a nice Josh Giddey Optic rookie. Purple Fast Break, CSG 9, and that one there is numbered out of 95. I haven't had a CSG graded card before. A nice Giddy, man of the moment. And then here is another Giddy, PSA 9, select orange die cut. Nice looking card. And that's out of 65, and that's premier level. And surprise, another Giddy. And this is a purple elite. And that one there is numbered 40 out of 49. And that's in a PSA 9 there. It's interesting. I chased Josh Giddy. And there's a few of the brands that are a little harder to get. And Elite's one of those that doesn't come up as often. Okay. And this is actually a duplicate. I got one of these, well, I got both of them very cheap. And this is Optic Fast Break Purple again. And that's out of 95. So yeah, one's a double. So I'll probably be selling the SGC one. It's interesting. They actually look, one looks brighter than the other. So just me. So 2 Giddies there. Another Prism Giddy for my rainbow. And this is the red gold wave, numbered out of 9. And I think that's from Asia. It is not numbered, but part of my Prism rainbow. And then the last one here, another Giddy, choice red. And that one is numbered out of 88. So a couple of nice Giddies. So yeah, like people recommend when you do send cards over, keep it around £2 mark, which would be like around 1 kg. Just customs kind of tend to ignore those, where they'll be more attracted to the bigger ones. But yeah, some nice Giddies and some super sweet boxes, which, especially these boxes, I wouldn't be able to get very easily, you know, with Ship My Cards. So I think these are selling around, I got them for 150 through Target, and they're 230, 250 US dollars at the moment. So they've gone up with the scalpers, and getting them in Australia, holding them in Australia for a good price is very difficult as well. So yeah, keep an eye on the channel. There'll be more rips upcoming. And yeah, thanks for watching, and feel free to like and subscribe.